All right, guys. Welcome to Josh and Aaron Talk About Stuff. I'm Josh, with my buddy Aaron.
That's me.
Um, every once in a while, once a season, we'll have a guest, which you already did this season. So you're
Double
stuck with
guest, right?
us.
Right.
You're not a guest anymore. It's like if you
No, I
come to my
said,
house.
I said, I said double guests. We had like
Oh,
two
we had
guests.
a double guest, which was an insane episode.
It was really,
It was
woo,
nuts.
it was nuts.
And for anyone cares, my poison ivy's clearing up nicely.
Oh, thank
Uh,
goodness.
last week I was Wednesday. I was like, Mike, just cut them off, cut the fingers off. Don't need them.
Just
End it.
be
End it
gone.
now. So yeah. All right. So we'll say it again and again and again and again. We're gonna talk about music every episode.
Right, something or
So
another.
Aaron and I, throughout the week, we always text like about three bands all the time, right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
never anything really new. But we've talked a lot lately about lyrics, right?
Yeah.
And when I say dark, I don't mean like horror movie or gory. When we talk, we like dark lyrics. We like lyrics that are about real stuff in life. And like love is real, but writing about a love songs are just not, it's overblown, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
we like songs like Rear View Mirror for Pearl Jam is about child abuse.
Right.
And it kind of has like a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
But he goes through this story of abuse,
Mm-hmm.
like so we've really like I have not been abused, right? So I personally can't connect to that song on a level, but I know people who have been.
Right.
And like so these alternative bands that really started to talk about the darker side of things, the things that people don't want to talk about, which that's probably a problem anyway. We don't talk about these things.
Right. Yeah.
We really connect to it. We connect to it more than what's like I'm walking on
Right.
sunshine.
Exactly.
Woo-hoo. Like, okay, so I found this quote I have shared with Aaron before. It's attributed to Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, but who knows, man.
Who knows?
But regardless, it's a great quote,
It's a
right?
great quote, though.
I didn't do any research, but it
You didn't
says
cross reference. Come on, man.
I didn't. Alice in Chains, though, I'm not a fan, but they have left a mark on alternative music
Oh,
100%,
assuredly.
right? Anyway, so
Oh, yeah,
here's
absolutely.
this quote from Lane Staley. It says, "Some people write about happy things, but it's real easy to write about falling in love. That's fine because there has to be a place for music as pure escapism." That's a great word because you don't need to, there's nothing to process when you're listening to all that
Right.
nonsense, right? Like Footloose or Danger Zone, Kenny Loggins. Anyway, so he says, but there's also a place for reality in music, singing about home truths. We're not trying to depress people. On the contrary, we're trying to lift people out of depression by telling them they're not alone.
Right.
And that was that was the piece that I was like, that's it right there, man. That's
Yeah.
what you and I have been trying to
Right.
talk
Trying to
about,
put
man.
into words, right?
Right, and he did.
Yeah.
It's like when I listen to Disarm by the Smashing Pumpkins. It's about child abuse too.
Yeah.
It's not there to be like, I went through child abuse. It's no, hey man, I went through it when I was a kid and now I'm singing about it as an adult. I made it through.
Right.
Like there is hope,
Yeah.
but you have to be willing to express it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so how do you feel about it all?
Well, I agree with you. I mean,
Right.
and the thing of it is, there's a place for. I mean, and there is a place for love songs, and even love
Yeah.
songs that aren't like sappy escapist love songs. There's, you can. That's the other thing about it, and you can. It's more challenging, but I think as a songwriter to write a love song that's not a sappy love song.
Right.
You know what I mean?
More
Like,
chords,
yeah, like I mean, that's
more
one of the things that like
standards.
I've always heard people praise Everlong for is like, hey, he wrote a love song that wasn't cheesy.
Right.
Like it had depth. And the
It
thing of it
does.
is, and you think of it as you look back to, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Yeah, when they're in their earlier years, the Beatles' love songs they were sappy.
Right.
Just, you know, love me do.
Mhm.
Yeah, but they developed depth to what they were saying as the years
Right.
progressed. But yeah, I mean the comment he makes in general though, it's true. Like it was a time when music got away from being frivolous
Well, it's like,
and started to
yeah,
try and develop some depth, because I think music in the 80s had gotten kind of frivolous. Sorry,
the
it's true,
decade of decadence.
right?
But like, those people are like, man, this is just so depressing. Well, you know what? No, maybe you've obviously never experienced these things
Right.
that these people have, and you know what? There are people who have, and they need an outlet too, and they deserve
Right.
somebody to speak to
Then
them.
then that music is not for you.
Right.
That music is not for you. If that's the case, then it'll be it.
Yep.
Not
And
music.
yeah, don't listen to it then,
Don't
right?
listen to this. Yeah, it's not for you then. So
Cool. So yeah, we like it's like soul hitting music, like in
I
a
think
in a
so.
deeper way other than like a love song like I can't help falling in love with you or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Talk about like I mean here, I'm gonna break somebody's bubble here, folks, but Better Man by Pearl Jam is not a love song.
If you dance
Okay?
to that at your wedding,
It's uh
but you
it's
set
a
yourself up for some problems
it's
coming
a
up,
woman that's in an abusive relationship and she's convinced herself she can't find anybody better. So
right?
thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome for
Or
that. Hope you look at it the right way from now on.
yeah, one by you two, not a love song.
Right. It's the cleverness of the melody that people are like, oh, how can a bad song have a happy melody or whatever,
Yeah,
like
right.
we can sing
Exactly.
it to it. That's called cleverness, guys.
And
That's
then
called
it's called good writing. It's
right.
called good writing.
Okay. So Aaron's gonna lead us into our main story today.
I don't really know how main story it is. We can talk about it as long as we feel the need to. I was just watching
True.
the news, and just it just hit me that just what an insanely complicated relationship our country has with immigration at this point. You know what I mean? Like we just have a really,
Yes.
really complicated relationship with the idea of immigration. It's like watching the people trying to come in from Haiti now, and it's just like,
Right.
man, and it's just like, and my question, I guess, is for you is fairly simple. It's just, you know, what do we do? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's one group that would say, let's just shut the borders down, right?
Mhm.
There's another group that would say, let's just open the borders up. I think
Free-
both of those issues create problems for our country, right? We just have this
right.
really complicated relationship with immigration at this point, and I don't think we have a good. I don't. Problem is, I don't think our country has a good way of solving it.
Well, this country in general is complicated.
That is for sure,
And if you don't think it is, then you have not had to deal with anything in your life.
right? This is a
You know what
complicated
I'm saying? So
place.
like I think until a certain point, and like let's say up until like the Great Depression, where like social issues started to become a real deal, as far
Mhm.
as like Social Security,
Right.
workman's comp. Up until that point, it was I can go to America and have a better life. Because can you imagine, like, all right, if you really want to understand immigration, you got to look at the 1870s, 80s, and 90s, where there was a flood
Right.
of immigrants from Europe, and they went to Chicago and New
New
York and
York.
spread out.
Right. Just
But like honestly, guys, living conditions wasn't that much better than what they left. Money
no.
wise, they could make more money.
Sure.
So that was like the draw. I can go actually and like I love in the Hunt for Red October when there's like I want to live in Montana, but I want to go here. I don't need any papers. No, you don't need any papers. Apparently, in other countries, you had to have passports to just go within your own country.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's like it was the allure of real no restriction, really. Like go
Yeah.
out there. And they were selling the American dream, by the way, the
You may go,
capitalism.
yeah, go make your own dream happen, right?
Right. But there were, some issues with that, like bringing, diseases or whatever, and like your own culture, like. But there was this idea, and Teddy Roosevelt is attributed to saying, like bring come to America and make your life, but live American, you
Right.
know? So we've always struggled with that, like uh, bringing your own language and your culture and
Right.
not assimilating necessarily to what we got. But like, it seemed to start one political party, which everyone knows if you listen to our show which way we lean, but that doesn't mean that they're always right, right? I have issues with the Democrats,
Hmm.
you know, but it seems like immigrants that would come today, it's like once they set foot across the border, it's like we're handing them a gift basket of a lot of stuff that I guess normal citizens don't normally get, right?
Right.
There's that perception. I don't know
Right.
how true it is, but it's like, but it also seems like we're okay with the white immigrants coming over, but then when the brown ones try to come, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's when
Yeah.
we have an issue.
Right.
But I do recognize we cannot save everyone, and nor I don't think we should have to.
Right.
It's like it's such a it's like that's probably the most complex issue we've actually ever talked about. Because the other alternative is let everybody in. That's the flip side of that is murder them all at the border.
Right.
You know, like we don't want to do that.
No, exactly. That's why I was like, when you were when we were talking like before we got started this week, and like we were talking, like I don't know if I really want to talk about this because it's like, because like, yeah, it may be one of the most complicated things that we've brought up because it is such a complicated issue. Like we no, there's no country. I don't know. I can't say that. I don't know this. I haven't researched and double checked and
That's gonna be
whatnot.
the
But
thing for forever now.
right,
Research.
I know. I need to get on Facebook and check this. But most
Now ask your cousin's
yeah, you're right. Yeah,
best friend's uncle.
right, right.
You know, like
Who
they
once
know.
worked for this guy.
Right, they
Um,
know, man.
they know that guy knows. No, but in all reality, I mean, we as like, most countries have some stipulation on who can enter. You know, you don't just get to
Yeah.
you don't just get to go wandering into another country. It's just not like you just get to go, hey, I'm gonna come hang out here for a while. I'm from the
Right.
states. Oh, welcome in. Come on in, then, lad. You know, no,
Right.
they don't do that in Ireland.
Right.
That was
They
a bad Irish accent. Um, you know, they don't just say, hey, come on in, come make yourself at home. No, I mean, there's stipulations by which you must take to enter a country, and
right.
our country is no different. You know, if you're going to come
And
into our
like
country, there are stipulations by which you must come in, much by which you may enter. That being said, we you know, we are a country built on the backs of immigrants, and we got to take
yes. I
you
mean,
know,
like most of this country was built with immigrants.
right, absolutely. So I
So
don't,
yeah.
I really don't know what my question is, and I don't know that I have one. It's just
Well, I have a question for you. Because people are like, they gotta apply the right way.
right,
Okay, well, if you're in the middle of El Salvador fleeing a crime cartel, how do you apply? What do you do?
right,
How do you
and then
like, you know, like what's the process? You
and
know,
then
you
our and admittedly our process by which you can be allowed to stay here is a little obscene.
right,
Like this, the process by which to become a citizen in this country is a bit ludicrous.
right.
And
And speaking of becoming a citizen, so like the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution says if you're born in this country within these borders, you are a citizen, right? Now, so if you're an immigrant, let's say from
somewhere,
Colombia, whatever, you
good
step
choice,
foot
good choice.
in the United States and have a baby,
That
that
baby's a
baby is a
citizen,
citizen. Now, I think that is sort of a perversion of the amendment because it was really for babies of slaves.
right?
They're born here, they're American. Okay. Well, now I do understand that when some people have a problem with like the expansion of the intent, you know, like, but you've got, I feel like if you're pregnant already and it's like you're a citizen where you came from. I don't think that's
Right.
fair. Like if you get pregnant while you're in America, all right, we have a conversation to be had. But if you're like 9 months pregnant or whatever, and you step across the border and have the baby right then and there, is that really a citizen of the United States? Like,
Right.
I mean, come on. There's got to be a little bit of a leeway here in but like, so but what's the pull though to trek across thousands of
I've
miles.
wondered that too. I mean,
And
it's
then
like what how much of it is like just like where these people are where these immigrants are fleeing from is just so
where are they getting
atrocious.
this idea? You know what
And
I'm
then
saying?
where
Like,
is this idea that somehow, America has definitely been pitched as like the land of dreams.
all you got to do is get there, man.
You just got to get there, man, and it's going to be good. So guess
Right.
what?
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, it is good for a lot of people, but
It
like,
is.
I think if, I mean, on another side of it, there's 30 sides to every coin, guys. Don't you know this? Business owners who hire illegal immigrants to pay them less
Right.
versus a full-fledged American citizen. So like, if the immigrants aren't, and they still get paid well, I would suspect, because otherwise they would stop doing it. So I mean, like,
Right.
stop hiring immigrants, if that's your
Yeah.
position, and then maybe they'll stop coming. Like,
I don't
it's
even
not
know.
just government policy; it also has to be business policies too.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
but I know that a lot of people are upset about, I guess the population of white people has declined for the first time ever. Like, we're going to lose our identity, our culture, but like, we've always been about other ideas.
Yeah.
Like, if we never wanted an immigrant to come here, we would have stopped them, right?
No, absolutely.
Like, we wouldn't have let them come.
Right.
So we obviously want immigrants, but like, I guess there's a right way to do it. But definitely, if you should be a contributing member to society. And honestly, like, immigrants work hard, man, harder than a lot of native-born Americans.
Yeah.
Because are you gonna go cut the lettuce heads off in the patch and bust your back all day? You know what I'm saying? Like, if all the immigrants left and stopped, woo, it would be bad for a minute before we got off our ass to start doing work. You know what I'm saying? So like, there is value in immigrants.
Yeah.
But like, and every society deals with bad immigrants that bring crime. So that's not a reason to like stop it.
No, absolutely not.
But I don't know if we necessarily need to catch and release and just do it repeatedly. You know what I'm saying? Well, they've done that. They've caught them.
Yeah, I know. I get
Sent
it.
them back, and then they end up coming back.
Right.
So it is crazy. Like, do we want to have a giant ass Great Wall of China, wall to stop immigrants from coming in? But there are things called boats, people. They can just go around the wall. So there just has to be like, it's super complex, man.
Told you I didn't really think we should talk about it.
Well, I mean, we're pro-immigration, but I guess there are processes of, doing it, but like, when they're all just, apparently there's a lot of them down there right now at the Texas border. And like, what do you do with them, right?
Yeah, right.
Because like, as on a humanitarian level.
On a humanitarian level, right?
We have to, Jesus would take care of them, right?
Jesus would take care of them. Jesus would be all about taking care of them.
So that's the conundrum that we've also talked about before.
Tis
like, how do you balance your Christian beliefs and values and what Jesus would do versus real life? I mean, Jesus was an immigrant at some point. He was on the run, right? It was
right.
And what if no one had taken him in, folks? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, monetarily, it's expensive to take care of these people, but like, Jesus, think about all the immigrants that came here, that if they actually like banded together, they could go back and take back their country from the bad.
Yeah.
Because they're leaving because
they can't live there anymore.
Right. They'd rather walk 10,000 miles. The song, I would walk 500 more, whatever, than deal with what they have in their own countries.
Right. So, absolutely.
Anyway, there's never going to be a good answer.
No.
They don't need to be provided everything, but if they do come here, let's put them to work. Sure.
Take care of them. Yeah.
Let's be humans for once. If we
get
over this tribalism of countries and be humans. Oh, you're a globalist, man. You're a globalist.
Oh, way, yeah.
Okay.
So.
I mean, your TV in your living room is not made in America, bro. So you must be globalist too. In fact, most of your electronics.
Right.
But then it's like it's one of those. They don't know what to think then when you call them on that stuff. But uh, I guess we can close it out.
Yeah.
Spoof movies like Police Academy
I love spoof
and
movies.
Loaded Weapon 1.
I love spoof
Why are
movies.
they funny, man?
It, I don't because they're. I think it's they appeal to like that in a way to like that lowest common denominator of comedy, just the complete slapstick.
Just
But at
goofy,
the same time, there's also like there's like a level of intelligence about them because they're still making fun of something else.
right?
And so,
Do you ever see Police Academy?
oh gosh, dude, years ago,
I love
and
that.
definitely only like the first one. I mean,
But
like
like, so there was the
because they
spoof
made like
movies.
20 of them.
No, they made three, and then but the third one's called 33 and a third.
Oh, that's no that that's those are Naked Gun.
Oh yeah. That's I meant Police Squad. Sorry, I meant Police Squad with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, the Naked
Okay, yeah,
Gun
but there were
movies.
Police Academies, but I meant Police Squad.
Oh yeah, those
But
are great.
there
I
seemed
love
to be like a
those.
resurgence, like the Scary Movie and other things, but they're just fun, man.
Yeah, they are fun. I do like them. I mean, in a way, Mel Brooks is, Spaceballs, perhaps the greatest of all
That's the
time.
greatest spoof movie of all time,
Greatest space movie of all time, spoof movie of all time.
and I think Police Squad would
Spaceballs.
be second.
Yeah, I love space.
Spaceballs. He's gone. Anyway, all right, guys. So we'll tune in next week.
Who
I
knows
don't
what'll
think we
happen?
got. I don't think we've been as down and dirty and depressed topics as we talked about before.
No,
I think we're an okay one, man.
yeah,
But if anybody out there that listens wants to be a guest, just let me know if you think you have what it takes to
to deal
jump
with
into
this
the
insanity.
jump into the line. Because the difference is, I mean, me and Aaron are pretty much on the same side. We're just talking because we like to talk about stuff. It's the name of the show. We're not
That's the show,
adversaries.
right?
Uh,
I guess
but
we
we
could
don't.
try to we could try to be adversarial for one. What's something we could talk
That'd
about? We
be
could
rough,
yell at each other.
right? Um, but if an adversary would like to come on and talk to us, I'd be
Ooh,
more than willing to.
yeah, definitely.
Because I think we had actually our first episode of this season. I think we had a pretty good mix of
Yeah,
ideas. So, but it would be a good challenge too because we're used to just talking to each other.
right.
And I do like to listen to other people's opinions,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Even though they're all wrong, I like to listen to them. I'm kidding.
Everyone was
I'm
wrong.
kidding. I'm kidding. All right.
I'm
Anyway,
not.
have a wonderful listen, folks, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Later.